Hi, welcome to another edition of Pauline Interviews. We are at the Crystal Crossroads where I'm doing an interview, and I want to thank Ellen Hardy, the proprietor, for letting me use her space here. And if you ever come to Newberg, Oregon, it's a lovely place. They've got crystals and all sorts of wonderful books and stones and chimes and essential oils. Well, I can go on, but I won't. Just come out and take a look for yourself. I'm always excited when I have an interview with people that are doing healing work, and Tabatha Bird Weaver is the executive director and founder of Breathe Healing Arts Center. And I'm so excited because it's right here in Newberg, a healing center. Tabatha, welcome to my program, and you do so many wonderful things, but before we get into what you do, which we're going to do in part 2, I'd like to know, first telling me a little bit about yourself and the training and your background, because you cover a lot of territory.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Yeah, I guess I'll start with my educational background because it's kind of the foundation of where everything started. I have a bachelor's degree in human development, which has been so helpful for what I do because it really allows me to understand what people are working on naturally throughout the scope of a lifetime. So treatments, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, treatments for children are very different developmentally than treatments for adults. I went on to get a master's degree in marriage and family therapy, and the thing I love about that degree is it really helped me not only understand the basics of counseling, but understand how systems work and how relationship gears mesh together or don't mesh together and where they get stuck. And so I really enjoy the way that helps me view things from multiple lenses. Mm-hmm. So those are where my education began. But really, I think my training hit the ground when I started doing individual work at a community mental health center, and that was in 2005. So I was working there with kids who had been put into the foster care system, and it was indeed hard. But I really got to watch some of them flourish, and as you know, I used my education in energy psychology to get to deeper levels of healing with them than traditional play therapy could.
You watched them flourish. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes.
And how did you help them flourish?
Well, it depends on the age of the child, but let's start with the average age that's removed, which is between 3 and 7. That age child really needs deep connectivity and reflecting without a lot of talking, because their brain is still constructing how all of that works. And so play therapy is a fantastic modality for that, to get them into their own space and into their own time. And then with practice, you start to learn how to ask particular questions or help them tune into their bodies so they can feel themselves flowing. And when they learn that, they have more options for handling stress, and that helps people flourish.
You know, I'm going to say this. I'm so glad there are people like you, because I've got a soft spot for children, and I hate to see them hurt and suffering, but I don't have enough fortitude to get out. I'd be crying. I wouldn't be able to do anything. But I'm sure you've got a soft heart, and you're a lovely person.
Yes, thank you.
But you're able to overcome that because you're helping the children, which I think is wonderful. We need more people like you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We do, indeed.
We do. Now, you founded here in Newberg. In fact, I didn't even know about it until I started, exploring the Breathe, B-R-E-A-T-H-E, Healing Arts Center. And first off, where'd the name come from?
Well, that's a great question. The name came because I wanted to switch from my professional practice, and I sat and I thought for just a minute, what do I say to every single client, every single session? Breathe.
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 Yes.
It is the fastest way for us to regulate ourselves, and it's free.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it, you have bigger problems than whatever is happening, right?
If you don't breathe out after a few minutes, you might have a big problem.
So that's where that came from.
That's great.
Yep.
And when did you establish it?
Breathe came to life in 2017 when I had received certification in a great modality called Chakra Dance, and I needed more space for people to come dance. And so I realized I've always been a teacher. I also realized I wanted to have other modalities because therapy or counseling isn't always what works for people. And I'm a believer in having your body involved. So
because your body, mind, spirit.
Absolutely. And there's more and more neuro research and just research in general that tells us most of our memory is stored in our body, not in our brain.
Really?
Yes. And so that's why in therapy, I told you I might get off in the weeds.
That's all right. Go ahead.
That's why in therapy sometimes you understand something and you understand it's not your fault. Anybody would have all of those things that we end up coming to acceptance of, but we don't feel better.
No.
It's because we've worked out the technicalities in our brain, but our body is still holding the residual stress.
Your energy is trapped in your body.
Yes.
Now, did I ask you if you did tapping?
You did.
Oh, and you said
I
you
said
did.
yes.
And do you use that as part of your therapy where you tap out? It's called emotional freedom technique.
Absolutely.
Where you get rid of the stuck energy, because stuck energy causes illness.
And so much more. It causes just distress in general.
Oh.
Right? Spiritual illness, emotional illness, mental illness, physical illness.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people say, you know, they keep regretting and they keep telling me about what happened in the past.
Right.
And I try to say, don't talk, you know, get over it, but you can't just, you've got to get it out of your body somehow.
Correct.
Oh, gee. So you teach that at the Breathe Healing Center?
I teach Chakra Dance, which is a meditative trance dance. So basically, we listen to some music that is geared to getting us into a particular physical state. It is a quiet experience, and we use guided imagery to help you travel into yourself. And the movement, I mean, most people just kind of do this.
Yeah.
We've got some big dancers, don't get me wrong. But most people are on their yoga mat just kind of swaying in. It's about helping yourself get deeper by moving.
Oh.
So I do that every new moon. It's a really fun time to
Is there a
set
reason for
intention.
that? The energy is different with a full moon?
Yeah, new moons.
New moon.
A lot of
new
people,
moon.
yes, there are a lot of full moon rituals for sure. But I chose new moons for Chakra Dance because
What is a new moon?
it is about setting intention.
Oh, yeah.
And having the opportunity to choose how this moon is going to be spent. And so we spend the first little portion releasing what we don't need.
Yeah.
And most people are already doing that on their own, right? And then grounding in and deciding what we do want. And then dancing with intention to create it. It's pretty fun.
I'm trying to visualize this. Now, this is
Come
probably...
on down.
Yeah, I'll take a picture. We'll come to Phil and I will come and tape you dancing.
Wonderful.
Swaying. This is probably not that important, but I'm just curious. What's the difference between a new moon and a full moon?
Well, technically, if you look up in the sky, you can see a full moon, and
Yeah.
the new moon is usually dark. Energetically, what it means,
Oh,
right? Sometimes on new moons, you can't see them at all, really, in the sky, or you can know you see it, but it's not as clear as like a full moon.
I know there's a blue moon, but that's when you get a full moon twice in 1 month or something
I think
like that.
that is what it is.
Yeah, I know the song, but anyway, that has nothing to do with it. So you found the Breathe Healing Arts Center because you want to do other modalities, you wanted the space, and so what, you have several practitioners there.
Yes.
I believe Ash, who I've interviewed twice.
Yes.
Ash does several things there.
She's taught many classes and done Reiki sessions at Breathe. We have been so fortunate to have her in our tribe.
Oh, that's nice. And you have a few other people there. I don't know if you want to talk about the other practitioners and what they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I absolutely do, because
Yeah.
I think that what they provide is essential for healing, and I also think who they are as people is fantastic. So I'll start with our newest addition, which is Adina McConaughey, who is doing yoga at Breathe a couple of times a week. What I love about her approach is that she's there because it feels good to her, and she wants to have other people feel good too. And so she's gentle and flexible, and that is really great. You need that when she's tricking you into doing stretches you don't think you can do. She's really skilled.
You got your leg over your head, and I never knew I could do that.
Exactly. So I can't tell you how many times she has come up behind me and put a block under my head when I needed it, because she wants to support me.
Oh,
It's really lovely, right?
nice.
Yes. And so yoga is a great way to get into your body and feel where you are in time and space, open those memories to come out,
Wow.
right? Make sure you drink water afterwards so you can flush the memories.
Right.
So
Wow.
yoga is a really great way to get into any aspect of healing.
And you have some other practitioners.
I do. My very favorite modality for myself physically is called MELT method.
MELT?
MELT method. It's all over the internet, so you'll be able to find it easily.
I've never heard of it before.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's such a part of my life that I have one of their little balls in my purse.
Oh, really?
Because I do it, in the car or wherever else I
wow.
am. MELT is a fantastic myofascial compression system. And what that means is
Yeah.
it gets in with rollers and balls and pushes on those trigger spots gently and opens up your myofascial tissue, which is the sheath inside of us that holds our muscles together, right?
Yeah.
Opens it up and hydrates it. And that sounds very interesting technically, but bottom line, what it's done for me personally, I have been in multiple car accidents and have had chronic pain from that for decades. And I mean, massage therapy at least once a month, ibuprofen usually daily, you know,
no.
right? That kind of life, I didn't enjoy it.
No, you don't want to do that.
And after melt, first, I noticed a change the first time I did it in my intro class, like I could feel it. After about 6 months of solid melt practice, so pretty much daily, my pain's down 70%, and I haven't taken ibuprofen in about 3 months.
It sounds like it's more of a physical than a mental, or
It is.
Okay.
But it also focuses on breath.
Okay,
Right.
like
and
yoga.
So, and one of the core components of melt, which I could talk about for days,
Yeah.
is called the rebalance
Well, maybe we'll
sequence.
bring the lady in
You
that does it.
should.
Talk to
The
her.
rebalance
We'll do
sequence
that.
is neurological.
Yeah.
So it's a multifaceted
Yeah.
modality. Anyway,
No, it
come
sounds
down.
great. Yes, yes. And then you have do you have one more practitioner? We know we have Ash.
We also have Molly Elkins, who does life coaching, particularly around parents and health.
Oh,
she
good.
is a super straightforward, articulate professional. She's been in this field for years, and she is full of resources. So
Life coaching. That's good. There are different life coaches, but you know, they could be a necessary part of your life.
Indeed.
You know, if you're kind of transitioning or something's changing. Yeah, I
Yes.
believe in that with a good one. And you have what you call karmic programs. I noticed that on your website. What is a karmic program?
Well, that is a great question. What I discovered about myself over my lifetime is that I am a highly sensitive person. I am an empath.
Oh, I interviewed an empath. That's not good.
It can be not good, right? And so I've developed programs to help several facets that contribute to that overwhelmed, overextended feeling. Sometimes that comes from complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which I think we're going to discuss at another point.
Yes.
But we can carry tension in us that we don't even recognize we have. Sometimes it comes from being overly empathetic, where we never really learned how to sort out our feelings from other people's feelings.
Right.
So we end up being overly responsible or feeling things we can't identify. What I've discovered over my 20 years of doing this professionally is that that level of work always has karmic implications.
And by
meaning,
karma?
you change your karma. And not only that, you can change the karma of your children.
That means what's going to happen. I mean, it's cause and effect. What you've done, and this is the effect.
Correct. And so by writing things, by taking care of ourselves and being responsible for our choices, making mindful choices on how we interact and how we choose to experience life, we really can clean up generations of karma.
I think you said something very important, taking responsibility, but don't blame yourself and don't, you know, I know a lot of people that blame themselves. They'll bang themselves, you know, knock themselves down, and that doesn't help you.
No.
Just take responsibility, but you know, forgive yourself and love yourself and move on. That's what I'd say.
I would agree
and I'm not a
with you.
therapist.
I would totally agree with you, and I would even add blaming ourselves and staying in that place of mutual, or not mutual, but chronic regret or remorse is actually yet another way of avoiding responsibility. Because what responsibility does is say, this happened. This is reality, and this is the best way for me to respond, and I'm choosing to do that.
That makes sense. Now that you say that, that resonates with me. That makes sense. So you have any more people at your at the Healing Center, or those the ones you have right now?
Those are where we're at right now, but we are.
Are you looking for more? Oh, okay. Let's put that out there.
Yes.
Tell us, what are you looking for now?
Specifically, we are looking for people who want to come offer classes. Not necessarily on an ongoing basis, but perhaps we're interested in anybody who wants to teach about metaphysical items, spiritual items, mental health topics, physical health topics. We'd love a nutritionist.
Okay, you hear that. Here in Newberg, at Breathe Healing Art Center, if you're a nutritionist, go and see Tabatha.
And you're an independent business person when you work at Breathe.
Oh, okay.
So that might help people.
Oh, yeah.
It's more flexible.
That's nice. That is really nice. So besides the healers that come, you're looking for people, and you have classes, and we'll put up your website. They can find about the classes. So you have people that they can set up appointments with, like doing melt, or doing things with Ash, the Reiki.
Yes.
Or they can come in and take classes like yoga and some other classes.
Yes.
What other classes do you have besides?
I run a personal development class on Monday evenings for women right now.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
So it's an overlapping class for women who are high functioning with trauma or overwhelm. And so basically me.
Are you really?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been a high functioning person. I keep my jobs. I take responsibility for my life. And I felt like a wreck inside for a lot of that time.
You seem really happy to me now. You look good now.
I'm better now, but I would have presented this then too.
Yeah, okay.
And so those women who have to keep it together because they're the primary breadwinner or they have responsibilities, they need to keep it contained. Last night we met and talked about boundaries.
Oh, good.
What we should never accept, like abuse or coercion.
Absolutely.
And what we always want to accept, like love and encouragement, and how to gauge that energetically in our body.
That's wonderful.
It's really
Is
fun.
this the WISE group?
No, this is just an ongoing, it doesn't have a name because it's just an ongoing non-sequential class, meaning you can come once and come back again in 6 months and you will not have missed anything.
Oh, that's great.
It's
that's great.
Yes.
That's especially for people who are so busy.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Right.
And you do have a WISE group.
I do.
And that is?
That is starting in January. And it's a 12-month program where we go.
What does that stand for? What?
WISE, it stands for Women in Spiritual Empowerment.
I love it. Yeah.
We go toe to top, cleaning up your energetic system, cleaning up residual developmental problems or stalls that we have, which creates that feeling of overwhelm.
Yeah.
And then integrating it so it feels really good.
So this is new. You're going to start in January.
We are. Yep.
Wow. Did you hear that? That sounds fabulous.
Thank you.
Wow. No wonder you were overwhelmed. You've got so much going on.
I do.
But what I'm listening to is it's all related to all this background that you have, all the education and your degrees, and you're bringing it all together, which I think is wonderful.
Thank you.
And it sounds like you're helping a lot of people too.
I hope so.
Yeah. No, I bet you are. Well, we're going to come back and do part 2. And in part 2, we're going to get a little more specific. We'll talk about healing childhood trauma. That'll probably take enough time. Okay. And you do a few other things too. If you have time, we'll talk about the others. Thank you so much, Tabatha.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So I'm talking here, or I was talking with Tabatha Bird Weaver. She's the Executive Director and founder of Breathe Healing Center here in Newberg, Oregon. And so thank you for watching Pauline Interviews. Please tell your friends about us. And if you love us, please, or even if you don't love us, if you just like us, please subscribe. Thank you. We'll be back with part 2 soon. Thank you. Part 2. Did I say part 2? Part 2. Yes. Thank you.